took it upon herself to learn everything she could about her conditions and her neurological diseases and what it was so new and foreign to all of us. We didn't know anything. They were brand new names and conditions we didn't know anything about. And we all started reading and learning, but she actually got very involved in learning about the national organizations and beginning to, when in Atlanta we felt like we needed more help, she was able to, she got, was very savvy with the internet and was able to find out other possibilities, other places, especially an institute that was up in New York that made a huge difference for us.
She also takes, I think, basically complete responsibility for her health care. She is fully informed about what she has to the extent that there is knowledge available about the conditions, and she's fully informed about treatment options, and she stays on top of things. And really, you have to do that because in a series of events this long, if you're not watching what is being done to you in the medical environment, people will make mistakes and things will be done that are not to your benefit. And Joanna pays attention and she makes sure that what happens to her is what needs to happen.
So I really appreciate what she's been able to do and learned how that you can, when you have a condition, that educating yourself is probably one of the best things you can do, and also reaching out for support. And we've all tried to do that, really allow the support of our family and friends to help stabilize us at these difficult times.
But the primary thing is that if you want the best medical care for yourself or for your children, you need to really shop who you're getting it from. You need to know that you have good grounds to believe that they're competent, but you also need to know that they're paying attention to you. Anytime the medical personnel doesn't really want to have any interest in what your explanation of your circumstance are, it's time to look for another one. Anybody who gives you the impression that they should automatically know what's going on with you because you fit in some category is when you need to look for another professional. Multiple opinions, always a great idea. So that, I think, is a really critical issue, and Joanna has done that extremely well. One of the reasons why she is where she is that we've found some really excellent people to do the work. That's one of the biggest lessons.
Another thing, though, is to give some credit to Joanna, is that she really works hard at building those relationships with her doctors, and if they're not going to be in a place where they discuss things with her, because she's so well educated and has learned everything that she can possibly learn about her conditions, if they're not able to handle that or treat that with respect and hold her in high esteem in evaluating everything with her and discussing with her, she won't stay in the relationship with them. She will not keep them as her doctor. And I think she's just an amazing person to watch how you navigate in the medical field today as a patient. How important it is to feel empowered, how you know the questions you're going to ask, to feel assertive, and realize that that doctors are employed. As wonderful as they are, we are consumers, and we have the right to ask for really good care, treat them with respect, but expect to be treated back with respect.
I can't speak for Joanna, but I think that the hardest part about this would be to be 18 years old initially, 24 years old now, and have a number of health-related issues that are never going to go away and may never get better, and will mean that you chronically are going to need some form of health care because things will never be normal for her. And despite the fact she's a very bright, very articulate, very motivated individual, she's got a lot of issues she's got to deal with, and she has all of her life. So you see people who start off life with difficult problems, difficult health problems in particular, who most of the time, if they have the number of factors she has, they tend to kind of lose track of themselves, and they tend to kind of fall into pattern where they just can't ever get better and they're dependent on people for it. Joanna's really taken the opposite tact and has taken control of her life and can speak to neurosurgeons about the fine points of neurosurgery and to other subspecialists to many people's chagrin. So I think the difficult part about caring for her is she can be a real pain in the neck sometimes because she is very opinionated about what she thinks should happen with her own health care. On the other hand, the thing that's kept her alive and kept her in a positive frame of mind is that she's taken aggressive control of her situation and basically refuses to let it ruin her life. And despite the fact that she's been, inundated with things, particularly over the past 6 months, she has her moments, but the fact that she's fought it tooth and nail, kicking and screaming and dragging all the way, which is very difficult for healthcare providers to deal with because she doesn't just say, okay, I'll do what you tell me to do, thank you. She says, this is what you're going to do, and this is why you're going to do it, and if you don't like it, too bad. So she can be a real pain to put up with for that. But on the other hand, you have to respect the fact that 9 people out of 10, including most of us, would probably not handle the situation as well as she has. So I think my personal standpoint, it's a motivating factor for grinning and bearing it sometimes, and not minding the text at 2 o'clock in the morning about, this, that, and the other that could, be dealt with a different way, because, my hat's off to her for taking control of the situation.
Mostly for my entire nursing career, I have done trauma and open heart. I did a stint at Shepherd Spinal Center across the street years and years ago. So anyways, most of my background is in ICU. And people like Joanna, who I take care of. When I first met her, I did not know quite how to take her. She's very young. And with her situation, she's a very difficult patient to treat. With as many issues as she has had over the years with pain and surgeries and being disappointed and lack of control. When you first meet her, it's difficult to determine what kind of a person she's going to be as a nurse. I took care of her for about 2 days before I really got into the groove of things with her. She was very demanding, ran me ragged, and monopolized my time. But that was okay. There's something about her that touched me and turned our relationship more from I am simply the nurse at her bedside and she is simply my patient. Her needing me in there all the time, it didn't bother me. I didn't get angry. I was frustrated occasionally, not because of her, but because there was things out of my control that I couldn't just fix the situation. I have a 21-year-old daughter, and that also helped. I looked at her and thought, this could be, I have 2 other children as well, but this could have been one of my children. And thank God that my children are healthy and don't have to go through this. So I sat down and I went through her stacks and stacks of medical records to learn about her, what goes on inside her, what she's been through, and that allows you to see beyond just the patient in the bed. Going through her records, seeing her, and understanding she should not even be alive today.
Something that was it might be this one. What we're doing, we're doing stimulant, a little bit of stimulant powder on these, and then putting the olefins or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Over the stimulant powder.
Yeah.
And we're just putting a little bit on that tiny guy with this, and then putting this silicone thing, dressings on them. A little bit, because the silicone dressing got the one on the jugular to heal up, like, really pretty. I've been completely chemically infection-free now for 6 months, 2 weeks, and this is just at skin level. Maybe we can just put the port here and then put the line there.
The line